Okay.
Okay. So, hello, Mr. Naeem. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today as part
Okay.
of a project exploring the role and development of English in different country. I would like to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, focusing on how English has influenced your country. So first of all, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Naiman Khan. I'm in Pakistan, and I'm living in Islamabad, the capital city of Pakistan. Um, I'm basically a sales, customer service, and training guy. I have an experience of 20 years. I've been working in the sales industry for like what 20 years now, starting 2004. I have
Mm,
worked with American companies. I've worked with Pakistani companies, and I've worked on projects like solar, mortgages, ISP in Pakistan. I've sold softwares,
mm,
worked with Microsoft, worked with IBM, done B2B, and then on and off. I train people as well. I train people on sales, customer service training. So if you sum it up, I'm basically a sales, service, customer service guy, training guy. So that's what I've been doing all my life in like 20 years of
mm.
um, my career is all sales, customer service, and training. I train people on sales and English.
Oh,
So that is a little bit about me.
oh, I see. That's great, Mr. Naeem. So, thank you for joining me. I would like to tell you that your insights will be valuable for understanding the unique way English has been adapted in Pakistan. So,
Perfect.
first, let's begin with the first question. So how do you view the increasing use of English in your country?
When you talk about increasing use of English in our country, it has um, changed drastically in last say 10 years, mostly because of the BPO industry that has flourished in Pakistan. And mostly the BPO industry that we have in Pakistan is American based.
Mm,
Some is UK based, a little bit is Australian based, but most of it is American based. So that is one reason that English has flourished a lot in Pakistan. And when you talk about increasing use in English in Pakistan, it reflects a broader trend towards globalization and modernization. Um,
mm,
it can offer various advantages such as better access to education. And then job opportunities have increased a lot. As I told you, the BPO is one big reason. And international communication, English
mm,
beats an international language. When you know English better, then uh, the chances of international communication increases because English is an international language. However, it may also raise concern about the preservation of local language and culture. So it's very important to keep a balance
mm,
between English and the native language. We
mm,
need to make sure um, we are promoting the native language as well. That can help maintain cultural identity while adapting to global demand. You can go global, you can uh, go English, but make sure that your personal identity as a nation is there. And local language plays a very important part when you talk about your local identity. So there has to be a very good mix and match of English and
mm,
Urdu in our case. So make sure that we're doing that check and balance. Make sure English is not overcoming
mm.
the local language. So there has to be a
Okay.
very good mix and match.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, what do you think are the benefits and drawbacks of English in your society?
Let's talk about the benefits first. As I said, educational access. English is the medium for instruction in many schools and universities these days.
Mm,
This provides access to a wider range of academic resources and global knowledge, right? Then, career opportunities. Proficiency in English
mm,
often leads to a better job. Prospects, especially in multinational companies and sectors like IT, education, and business. And as these bigger companies, their medium is English. So if you want to get access to these companies, your English has to be good. So this is one
yeah.
benefit. Then we talk about global connectivity, as I earlier said, English being the common language for communication in international forums. So facilitating trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. So when you're good in English, then global connectivity increases. Then you talk about technological advancement. Most of the digital content and software is in English, making
Mm,
it essential for participation in the global digital economy. If I want to learn something about software, for example, if I'm talking about say CRM, and
mm,
if I go on web and I search what CRM is, what CRM does,
mm.
as it's in English. So to understand it better, my English has to be good. So if English is
Yeah,
not
true.
good, I won't be able to understand what CRM is. So that might be disturbing my work as well. Then,
Mm,
when you talk about drawbacks of English in Pakistan, uh, the foremost thing, the most important part is the cultural delusion. The emphasis on English can undermine local languages and cultures, risking the loss of cultural identity and heritage. As I earlier said, make sure
mm,
that you're taking care of your cultural heritage, your local things as well. So uh, that doesn't get overshadowed by access use of English. So there has to be a mix and match, as I said. Then social inequality is one of uh, the biggest danger for our society. So access to quality English education is often limited to affluent segments of society. That what happens is that divides your society. So not everybody is getting access to that English education because of the higher fees, and then especially the English. So it creates an economic divide that is not good. That can create a
mm,
lot of uh, social evils, to be honest, right? Then the language anxiety, the pressure to speak English fluently can create anxiety for those who are less proficient. For example, um, uh, the people who some of the people they are not studying in the English medium part, they are studying in the Urdu medium. So that what happens is when they become a part of an English thingy, it impacts their confidence participation in society. So that is one reason that can create. So what I understand is these are one of the most um, important benefits and drawbacks of English. So the decision makers, they have to make sure that they're keeping focus on these things and make sure that these things are not ignored, because that can create a lot of fuss in the society.
yeah,
I think these
exactly.
things need to be focused.
Yeah, I agree with that. So from that benefits and drawbacks that you see just now, what do you think its future will be in your country?
Uh, future. What I believe is the future of English Pakistan is likely to remain significant, driven by globalization and the demand for skilled professionals. However, there may be a growing emphasis on promoting bilingualism, as I earlier said, ensuring that local languages are preserved alongside English. This balance can foster inclusivity and cultural pride while equipping individuals to thrive in a globalized world. So, as I said, there has to be a very good mix and match. And I think this explains the future of English in Pakistan. But as I said, we have to keep in mind every aspect that is linked with English that might affect our society later on.
Mm. True. So, can you briefly explain how English first first come to you? First
Oh,
come,
you mean
sorry, first come to your country. I mean,
okay, right. When you talk about English coming first to Pakistan, it goes back way in the 19th century when the British colonial period started in 19th century, when the British established control over the Indian subcontinent. It was introduced as a language of administration, education, and governance because, as by that time, we were ruled by the British. So they were not familiar with our language. So we were supposed to follow their language because they were the rulers and we were the one who were ruled. So uh,
mm,
the power part has to be followed. So that was when English came to subcontinent. So that's that goes like what, a century back, like. So it's a pretty old
mm,
uh, inclusion of English to our country. So we were introduced to English in 19th century.
yeah, I see.
And when
So,
you
for
talk about the, yes, please go ahead.
right. So, sorry. So for you personally, how do you use English in daily life? I mean, in what situation does it most come in?
When you talk about me, English plays a very important part in my daily life because, first of all, I work with American companies, so the 9 hours that I spent in my office is all English. So then I do use that English language with my kids as well. So you can say that when you talk about 24 hours, out of 24 hours, at least like uh, 14, 15 hours is English. So
Mm,
it plays a very important part in my daily life. I
mm,
communicate in
mm,
English, then my education has to be in English. My education was in English. Then the media consumption that we do, that is in English. But I frequently engage with English language media, including articles, books, news, music, any sales training that I'm giving or taking. And uh, I'm into the training thing as well. So I do
mm,
whatever access that I have or whatever thing that I access on web, those are English based as well because I'm a sales guy and I do sell like new products coming up as well. So whenever a new product pops up that I have to
mm,
sell, then I have to access the web for that. And as you know, all the information is in English. So then my workplace is all English. As I said, I'm working with the American company, and uh, English is commonly used for emails, reports, meetings, presentations. Uh, because I'm into IT industry and sales, so academy. So that uh, is all English. Then social media English is the dominant language, right, on most social media platforms. And as I am on social media most of the time, so that's why I'm sharing my content. I'm picking people's content. So overall,
mm,
English plays a crucial role in facilitating communication, education, and access to information in various parts. That's
mm.
what it is.
I see. Yeah, I could see that your English is very good. So yeah.
My bread and butter is
So
English, so I have my English has to be good if I want to
oh
eat well. I have to speak
yeah,
well, right?
true. So what are some words or phrases in Pakistani English that are different from British or American English?
Ah, that is interesting. We use chai while English use tea in common both British and
Oh,
American English. Chai specifically means referred to a spice tea popular in South Asia. So as
mm,
I think Malaysian people know what we call tea chai, right? You must have heard that word
yeah,
because
true.
you people are pretty familiar with our language, right? I've talked to a lot of people
Mhm.
from that part, and they speak pretty good Urdu. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Then paka, the term means certain, definite, often used to assure someone. For example, if I'm promising you something that I'll be doing this, so you'll say paka. Paka means done. Are you sure? So that's a promise, something like that. So that is. Then
Oh,
ladki, ladka, ladki. We call girl the ladki, and the boy is the ladka, right?
yeah.
This is what we normally use. Then khana is a very important part. Khana means food,
Mm,
means meal or food. Then banda is like guy, and bandi is like lady. Ladka, ladki. Then shadi is a very important part. That is marriage, right?
yeah.
And but these are some of the the words that we use.
Oh, wow, that's interesting because I've heard some of those words too. Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
Urdu is a pretty good language, by the way.
Oh, I see. So, uh, as an official language in Pakistan is Urdu, right?
Yeah.
So, could you give examples of English words or expressions that have been borrowed from Urdu or another local languages?
I'll just repeat the same words again. Chai, shadi, bhai. Bhai means brother. Khana means
Yeah.
food, and then dosti means friendship. Zindagi is life, and it's sometimes used in poetic and expressive contexts. Paka means
Mm,
definite, as I said. So these are the stuff, these terms enrich English conversation, so reflecting the influence of local languages and culture.
mm, I see. All right, let's move on to the next question. So, how do Urdu and other regional languages influence the words and expressions used in your English?
Urdu and other regional languages are significantly influenced the words and expressions used in English in Pakistan. In several ways, like code switching. Many speakers
Mm,
fluently switch between English and Urdu, or local regional language in conversation. Um, this blending often results in phrases that incorporate Urdu terms, enriching the dialogue and making it more relatable. Then it's loan words. Numerous Urdu words have been adapted directly into English used in Pakistan. For example, as I said, chai, shadi, and kebab, and commonly used often without translation, reflecting cultural practices and culinary traditions. Then cultural
Mm,
expressions, idioms from Urdu are sometimes used in English to convey cultural.
mm,
For instance, using dosti, friendship with an English conversation can add
mm,
warmth and cultural content. Then you talk about informal speech. Um, in informal settings, English speakers often use regional words to express familiarity and comfort, creating a unique linguistic style that resonates with local identity. For example, there's an English speaker who is planning to deliver something, and he knows that most of his audience has to be Indian
mm,
or Pakistani. You'll see a lot of people using these Urdu words as well to relate with
mm,
the audience. Whenever you are presenting something, you have to get a bond between you and the listener, so they feel comfortable and they make you feel comfortable so they can participate. So that is what has happened. Then uh,
mm,
influence and on syntax and grammar. The structure of Urdu and other regional languages can influence English sentence formation in casual speech, leading to a distinct Pakistani English style, right? Then you talk about regional variations. Different regions may contribute unique words and expressions, reflecting local dialects and culture. For example, Punjabi expressions might be incorporated in English conversation in Punjab, right?
mm,
If somebody, sometimes if I'm training people in Pakistan, local agents, so sometimes I do use Punjabi as well while training them. So this makes them a little more comfortable. So they get more involved in that training. Training is all about involving
mm,
people, right? Overall, the interplay between English and local language in Pakistan creates a dynamic and culturally rich linguistic environment, right?
mm,
And there are specific fields like business, education, or media where English has developed its own unique words or phrases in Pakistan. It's not only Pakistan, so when talk about the local countries, they do use those local words to make people comfortable, right?
mm,
And for example, business, when you talk about business, we have a specific word called jugaad. Jugaad
mm,
refers to a clever, resourceful solution or hack. It commonly used in editorial text to describe innovations. For example, there's something you've learned something new. I've found a new jugaad for it. If there's a problem, you've got a solution for it. So you say, I've found a
yeah,
new jugaad. That's what it is. Chalta hai. Chalta hai means
mm,
it's a phrase meaning it works, it's okay. For example, if I'm giving you, you've given me something and you ask me, did it work? And I say, oh yeah, chalta hai. It means it will
mm,
work, right? Then there's a very interesting word in our language that's called tuka. Tuka means, for example, you asked me a question, I didn't know the answer, and I just made a guess, and that worked. So that is called the tuka, right? So
yeah,
that is very, that's a very funny word, Lavia. Then education, English medium refers to schools and institutions where English is the primary language of instruction.
mm,
Then uh, when somebody does bachelor in arts, you call it bachelor in arts, right? We call it BA. The
mm,
BA is the short form of Bachelor of Arts, right? This term is often used in educational discussions, reflecting the influence of Western academic system. Then, course outline. This term is commonly used in educational setting to describe the syllabus or curriculum. Then, media. In media, we use breaking news, right? So,
mm,
a phrase used widely in news broadcast to announce urgent or significant news updates. So, when that breaking news pops up on TV, I won't change the channel. I'll listen to the
mm,
breaking news first. So, this is some of the media hacks that we have. So, when they want to attract people to their channel or want them to stay on the channel for a while, they'll a big pop-up comes up on the screen, breaking news, and you drop the remote and you listen to the news first, and then you move forward. Then talk show. Talk show for us is referring a television format where discussions take place on various topics. It's commonly understood and used in English media, right? Talk show. I think you
mm,
people use the same as well. Then viral. This is the word that we have heard a lot in last like 5 years, right?
mm,
Because social media has developed a lot of platforms have come up. So something that goes popular on the social media, we call it viral. It's not that it
Mm,
creates virus, it has virus in it. When you talk viral, it's not that it has a virus in it. Viral means it has gone like haywire. People are looking at it.
mm,
Uh, a lot of people have seen it, views and stuff, and likes and comments. So this, I think that this term has been popular because of YouTube, because people get paid when the thing goes viral, right? So this is something that we have heard a lot in the last 5 years. So these fields showcase how English adapts to local context in Pakistan, leading to a
mm.
creation of a unique term that reflect culture and professional practices. Then you have noticed um, that I think this sums up this part, I guess.
I see. So, have you noticed any new words or phrases becoming popular in Pakistani English, especially for those among younger people as generation is evolving, right?
Yeah, several new words and phrases have become popular in Pakistani English rather, particularly among younger people. Here are a few examples. For example, there's a word that we know use a lot is FOMO. FOMO is short for a fear of missing out.
Mm,
This term is
yeah.
commonly used to describe anxiety and over missing social events or trends. So, when you say FOMO, it means that somebody has a fear of missing out. For example, if I'm
Mm,
going to do a job or if I have to do something, so if I'll say I'm FOMO, it means that I think I'll lose, I'll miss out. Then
yeah.
lit. This describes something exciting or excellent, often in the context of parties and events. For example,
Mm,
you say his dance lit up the party. It means that that was something good. Then vibe. Vibe is a word that we have used a lot in like 4 or 5 years. It refers to a good to a mood or atmosphere of a place or situation.
mm,
It often is used in casual. For example, uh, I went to a session or a meeting, and I went to the meeting. I was not feeling good, so I won't say that I'm not feeling good. I'll say that I'm not having good vibes about it. Or if you
mm,
enter a place, enter a session, and feel good about it, you said I'm getting good vibes. It means you're feeling good. Then
yeah. Okay.
savage. Savage, this term describes someone who is bold, brutally honest, often used humorously. And then you talk about binge watch, commonly used to describe watching multiple episodes of a show in one sitting, for example. Uh, these days, you see a lot of uh, programs,
Mm,
seasons that refer to. So sometimes what people do is these are normally done on weekends. People sit and they open a season and then they watch all the episodes. I'm doing these days. There's a very good TV serial called Bismil. What I do is whenever I get a
mm,
time, I do not normally get time to watch them on TV. What I do is I go to YouTube and I open the
mm,
recent episode and watch it. So that's what it is. Then cancel culture, a phrase referring to the practice of withdrawing support from individuals or brand due to controversial actions or statements. So what you do is you put things in and then you get we withdraw the support for individuals.
mm,
If there's any action or statement for a product, that is where it comes. Then ghosting, used to describe the act of suddenly cutting off communication with someone, often
mm,
in uh, relationships. So the first, you look at the word and you think like it has it has to do something with the ghost. It's not that.
mm,
When you referred about ghosting, it about disappearing because normally ghosts you cannot see them, right? They are disappeared sort of a
true.
thing. They're not visible. So what happens is when you ghost in a relationship, it means you're gone. The person won't see you again. So that is what it
Mm,
refers to. Uh, these terms reflect the influence of global youth culture, particularly through social
mm,
media, and showcase the evolving nature of language among younger generation in Pakistan. And I'm telling you, this has done a lot. And so
yeah.
the social media has a pretty big impact on the youth for now.
Mm, I see. Agree. I agree with that. So, my last question is, how do Pakistani culture and social factors shape the way English is spoken?
I culture and social factors in Pakistan. They significantly shape the way of English is spoken, influencing vocabulary, pronunciation, and usage. Here are some key aspects. I think the most important part is the cultural factor. And when you talk about
Mm,
culture, the first thing that comes to my mind is bilingualism. Many
mm,
Pakistanis are bilingual or multilingual, often switching between Urdu, regional languages, and English. This leads to
mm,
code switching, where local expressions and terms are blended into English
mm,
conversation. Some people they switch from Urdu to Punjabi to English if they're living in Punjab. Some they switch from English to Urdu to Sindhi if they're living in Sindh. The
mm,
Balochis they switch from Balochis and this, and the Pathans they speak Pashto, and that's what it is. Then the education
mm,
system. Now the prevalence of English medium schools has increased, shaping how English is taught and learned. However, the quality and access to such education vary, affecting
mm,
proficiency levels. Not only proficiency levels, also the buying power. Uh, how
mm,
rich and powerful the people are, how much money do they have? Do they have the power to buy that English education or not? Then media influence matters a lot. English language media, including TV, films, and social media, play a significant role in
mm,
shaping contemporary English usage. Popular
mm,
culture often introduces new slang and expression. Normally, the slangs and expressions they come from the TV
mm,
program, movie stuff. Now, social factors they are very important. Class and
mm,
status. This is something that bothers me a lot. And English is often associated with higher social status and education, as I said. The perception influences how individuals use English in different social circles,
mm,
sometimes leading to a more formal or elite usage in certain contexts, right? Youth culture,
yeah,
younger generation increasingly adapting English in informal settings, often influenced by global trends, technology, social media. Now, this leads to the incorporation of modern slang and phrases, right? Then you talk about globalization as Pakistan becomes more interconnected with the global community. The influence of English language varieties like American Bitchin continues to shape local usage. Then you talk about future changes, um, increase informality as younger generations continue to embrace global slang and informal expressions. In Pakistan may become more casual and
mm,
relaxed in everyday conversation. Now, then we talk about evolving vocabulary. Most important
mm,
part in a language, right? New words, phrases influenced by technology, social media, and pop culture will likely emerge, creating a
yeah,
unique blend of Pakistani English. I hope it impacts in a positive way rather than a negative way because anything can happen. Like it can be positive and can be negative. And
mm,
focusing on inclusivity, as I said, inclusivity is one of the most important part. There may be a growing emphasis on English alongside local languages, promoting a more
mm,
bilingual or multilingual approach that values cultural identity. Overall, the future in Pakistan will be likely be dynamic, reflecting
mm,
ongoing cultural shifts and the impact of globalization while maintaining its local flavor. So now, as a guy who has been in touch with English for like most of my life, my education has been English, and then I've been following English for all my life, my job, and by heart I'm a Pakistani, and
mm,
I love my language. I love my culture. Uh, I wear this suit because that's what is needed when I go to my workplace, right? And when you're talking to people from culture like US and you're presenting them, so you have to look like them. You're sending to them, so you have to look like them. You have to sound like them. But in the meanwhile, I'll make sure that I'm creating a very good uh, percentage between English and Urdu. I do
mm,
teach my kids the importance of my local language as well, and I do tell them how important English is, but make sure that we are not overshadowing Urdu altogether. We're not forgetting our local language because what I believe is your identity matters a lot,
yeah,
and you can uh, go for the other. society's identity because I do it because my job is, but I make sure that it's not. It doesn't eliminate my original self. So you have to respect yourself because overall, I mean, after all, I'm Pakistani. I might be speaking English, but it doesn't mean that I'm from America.
Mm.
I'll always be a Pakistani, and that is something that cannot be changed. So make sure that we respect our language, respect our country, respect our heritage, our culture, because if we do that, other people will do that as well. So we have to make sure that we are not losing our identity. While I know English is important because that's inevitable, but make sure that it's not killing what I am. There has to be a very good balance between the
Exactly.
local thingy and the international thing.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree with you, Mr. Naim. So I think you give me a lot of new lessons today. So thank you very
Yes.
much for sharing your thoughts and experiences. So this information from you will greatly contribute to our project, helping us
I'm sorry
explore.
if if I
Yeah.
was low on energy. I had like a 9 hours shift and I had this fever and a
Mm.
little bad cough. So if I sound low on energy, I apologize. But I think
Yeah.
as I had promised you that I was supposed to be here by this time, uh,
Mm.
so I was supposed to be here. So uh, I'm always trying to tell the whole world that we are a very friendly nation. We uh, always want to help people around us. Me
Yeah.
personally, what I believe is if there's anything I can share the little knowledge that I have, I'll always do that.
Mm.
Our religion uh, teaches us as well. What I believe is whenever you share knowledge, it increases. It
Yeah.
never
Exactly.
decreases. I mean, if you're sharing knowledge, more people are learning it. It's making
Mm.
my Allah Ta'ala, God happy. So if we can do that, nothing better than that, right? So we are very friendly nation. There might be a different
Mm.
perception about us, but we are not what is portrayed. We are always a very friendly nation. People living in Pakistan, doesn't matter if they're Christian, they're from US, they're from any country.
Yeah.
We always take very good care of them. So I'm pretty sure that this session will create a very good impact on people that they don't know what sort of country we are. They look at the
Mm.
news and whatever they hear from the news, they think that's what it is. It's not the way. We are a very friendly nation. We always love
Mm.
to help people out, the little help that we can do, and we'll keep on doing that, and we'll always be the friendly nation that we are. And I absolutely appreciate you picking me up and giving me a chance to say my heart out and show the world what sort of
Yeah.
nation we are. And whenever you need me, whatever little knowledge that I have, I'll always like to share. I hope the whatever things that we have talked about, it helps you in getting your things done, and it improves the knowledge of people as well. So I hope
Yeah.
this plays a good part in your lives and whatever your aim was. It was it was uh, it was obtained well.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Naim, you helped me a lot. All right, so I appreciate your time and